We established a couple of weeks ago that Van Gogh isn't pronounced Van Gogh, it's pronounced Van Gogh. Okay?
Yes.
So the figure of Vincent van Gogh has been a popular figure for cinema. He's been played by Kirk Douglas in Lost for Life. John Hurt read his letters in Vincent. Checky Carrier played him in Vincent and Me. Tim Roth played him in Vincent and Theo. Jacques Dutronc played him in Van Gogh. Benedict Cumberbatch played him in Painting People. So there have been many incarnations of Van Gogh on screen, and I think they're all referred to as Van Gogh or Van Gogh. So now Willem Dafoe, who earned an Oscar nomination for his portrayal of Van Gogh in At Eternity's Gate, which is one of the things that we weren't talking about, because by that point the film hadn't been released in the UK and not many people had seen it. So when the Oscar nominations were announced, nobody was saying, oh, do you think there's any chance that Willem Dafoe will win? So do you remember a couple of... maybe a year or so ago, there was that animated feature, Loving Vincent, which was the first oil-painted animation.
I remember you discussing it on the programme.
An extraordinary sort of visual leap forward. And like that film, this film, which is directed by Julian Schnabel, kind of worries away at the later part of Van Gogh's, I'm going to keep doing it now, life and the details of his death. So it's attempting to kind of deal with the darkness of his death whilst shedding light upon his life through the medium of his paintings. And en route, of course, he suffers, madness and incarceration and being at once adored and pitied by those around him. Here's a clip.
Why do you paint?
I paint as a matter of fact, to stop thinking.
A sort of meditation.
When I paint, I stop thinking.
About what?
I stop thinking, and I feel that I'm a part of everything outside and inside of me. I wanted so much to share what I see. An artist.
Yes?
I thought an artist had to teach how to look at the world, but I don't think that anymore. Now I just think about my relationship to eternity.
What do you call eternity?
Time to come. Sometimes they say I'm mad, but a grain of madness is the best of art.
You're not a madman.
It's good to have a doctor as a friend.
So you can hear from that, the film isn't entirely free of chubby hum moments. You know, some people say I'm mad, but I say,
Ray Fiennes would have learnt Dutch.
Yeah, he would have done. I know, yeah, you're quite right. He would have done. And he would have done it without a nose. And, Schnabel obviously started his directing career. I mean, he's an artist and he turned filmmaker. He started his directing career with Basquiat, so he has dealt with the kind of problem of doing biopics anyway, and the difficulty of representing an artist and their art on screen. He is well versed in that. He also made The Diving Bell and the Butterfly, which I think is a really brilliant film, a really, really brilliant film. So what this manages to do is, on the one hand, it tells the story of Van Gogh's later years, and it attempts to inject into its visuals a sort of element of the world as seen through the eyes of Vincent, which, because, for people of my age, you always think of Starry, Starry Night as being the kind of, that... paint your palette blue, that thing about looking at the world through somebody else's eyes. There is a very, very impressive supporting cast, including Oscar Isaac, Niels Astrup, Mathieu Amalric, who, of course, is in Diving Bell and the Butterfly, and the locations, which are very, very well chosen as the actual locations in which a lot of this played out. My general feeling about the film is that whilst it does a kind of a very honourable job of attempting to capture the spirit of the painter and attempting to transpose onto the screen what it is about those paintings that's magical. Having just recently, I was in Amsterdam and I went to the Van Gogh museum. And I mean, it is extraordinary seeing them there in front of you. I think that the drama itself is somewhat meandering. I think it takes an impressive sort of stance on the visuals, but certainly if you compare it to Loving Vincent, which really pushed forward the animation form so radically, it's not in that league. But the Willem Dafoe performance is uncanny. I mean, it is really uncanny. Although he's not doing what Rafe would have done and doing it as he is doing it in a way which is very, very convincing.